Hi, good evening, and welcome to my daily live session on multiple topics for creating world class companies and exceptional leaders. And my today's topic would be to give you an introduction to the progress chakra for convincing change in your teams and in your organizations. So let me straight away dig into this particular topic and try to complete again in about 10 minutes. That's been my desire. Let's see how it's going to work out. So, first, let me start talking about what I mean by chakras and why chakras are required. And after that, I'll come to the topic of progress chakra. See, I basically took this example of talking about chakras because in organizations, predictability is something which is a very big desire that each one has. And for predictability to be achieved, it's important that there is stability in whatever we are performing. It could be delivery, it could be sales, it could be sourcing, it could be processing of uh, accounts, it could be processing of invoices, it could be something to do with medical transcription, whatever be it. There has to be some stability, and the stability can be achieved if the process is understood and process is dominated. In the technical term, in the statistical process control terminology, one calls that a stable process is a process which is dominated, in the sense wherein we have understood the cause and effect. Therefore, we are able to control the various causes or the drivers which are influencing the process, so that the process is stable. And any stable process is a natural process, the way it occurs in universe, which is a universal phenomenon. Anything natural in the universe is always stable. So once that stability is achieved, then the predictability is possible. Imagine if there was no stability in the formation of clouds and the rain in our on our planet Earth. It would never be possible for us to predict as to what's going to happen in terms of the weather. Of course, weather predictions are always not that accurate, but still, the ability to be able to do that depends on the stability of the past data. And that stability comes because of consistency of the performance, like you see in this graph on the left side. And on the right side, once that stability is there, it is to some extent working and performing naturally, then you can do the prediction. And the prediction then tells you what is the band in which the particular result will occur, similar to what's happening in the US now on the elections. You can do some predictions, but of course these things are all not that what should I say, guaranteed, because there are processes which are very difficult to understand, and the surprises and the element of uncertainty is quite high. So whereas in the business, it is important to understand the predictability, which is what the key for ensuring that the business is run in a stable manner with a improvement trend, so that we can deliver consistent value to all the shareholders and the stakeholders. Now, after having spoken about predictability, I said that how do you achieve predictability? Predictability can only be achieved when the flow in the business is continuous. And for this, I had introduced you to the concept of business chakras, where I had said that the flow of various areas, finance, products, progress, growth, then top-down directives, and the bottom-up reporting, all these have to continuously work like a clock. And for that, I had introduced this concept of chakras about, I think last week it was. And after that, I went on to explain what is the root chakra, which is basically the flow of products and services from market to market. And after that, explain the continuity chakra, which is the flow of finances from market to market in the reverse direction. Then went on to speak about the next chakra, which is the top down chakra, which is the flow of directives from the top to bottom, from people to people. And again, the bottom chakra, which would be the flow of performance from the people to people, uh, going back to the top. That's the basic idea of multiple chakras, which I explained. And yesterday I spoke about the bottom up chakra, which was the last one, which I explained. Today I'm going to talk about the progress chakra. Progress chakra is all about convincing change, and for this, the core is to have excitement for evolution. Excitement for evolution is something which is extremely important for people to be excited in doing something which is extremely important, so that then people can make sure that excitement is what that gets changed into progress, into the improvements. Improvement is always from standard to a standard. You have a standard, you improve that, then achieve a new standard. So this is what I call as the progress chakra, driven by excitement for evolution, And what is the content? What is the scope of this progress chakra? In my understanding, first is interruptions in flow and performance issues need to be addressed. Whenever there are interruptions in any flow, this is something, some kind of a, what should I say, overviewing activity which happens in the organization. Wherever there is an interruption in flow or any performance issue, this should be addressed using this improvement. Then regular auditing of adherence to standards is extremely important. Only then do we know that there is a deviation. Only then can you think of improving and find out why the deviation occurred. Then the root cause analysis, try to predict, find out why the prediction could not happen. Why did we not predict that there would be a problem? There would be a flow. That is what is the essence of the entire activity which I am doing now, to talk about the predictability. And why did it occur, first of all? Suppose, let us say we predicted it, but still it occurred. And the next is, how can we prevent it, from occurring? These are the three topics which is important that we need to look at to understand what can be done to ensure that a particular failure or a interruption or a problem would not really repeat in the future. So here there are three things which are important. One is prevention is something which is in ahead in time, where we can prevent something. Occurrence is talking about why did it occur, how can we prevent the occurrence. And prediction is much ahead, even before anything is planned. How can we create systems in the organization, maybe through checklists, maybe through some kind of collective wisdom, that the potential barriers, potential risks and the potential deviations, potential problems can be discussed much ahead of planning, so that all these can be considered in the system, so that the potential barriers are addressed already at the system level, so that it won't occur in the future. So these are the three topics which needs to be understood when you're doing a root cause analysis. And finally, to talk about corrective and preventive actions and measures. So what would be the ideal characteristics of a chakra when I call it the progress chakra, from standards to standards, improvements are happening, and what would be the ideal characteristics of this flow? First is prioritization with the standard factors by all teams. That means the prioritization is going to be uniform across the organization. If there is a problem, let us say in the in one department of a particular error being repeated or being recurred quite continuously, and maybe there is another error in some other department, and there is another issue with the customer. So if these three are there, it is important that across the organization, everybody would prioritize all the three in the same sequence. And that is important, because only then can we get synergy. Only then can we get the power of the mass. Organization is basically a collection of people with different mindsets who are coming together to achieve a common goal. And if that common goal has to be achieved, then everybody should be working towards one common outcome. Therefore, the common prioritization is extremely important. That is the first thing. Second is, a scientific method is used to determine the causes. Here, Pareto diagrams used to drill down till the root cause is a standard thing which is used, let us say. Then thorough root cause validation. This is extremely important. We assume a lot. After that, unless we validate that particular root cause is really visible, really working, it is not possible for us to ensure that the root cause is validated and the root cause is going to be correct. So that's the next thing which is extremely important. Then after that, here when you are doing the root cause validation, it is important to look at maybe a simulation to regenerate the predicted failure, or control trial to confirm the occurrence and detection. And then the next is to plan a robust corrective and preventive actions. And finally, to talk about updating the audit checklist to include new standards. This is something which is very important, so the prevention happens in the future and it will not get repeated in the organization. So this is something which is extremely important, which one has to do, and that is the ideal characteristic of a progress chakra which is flowing continuously. Now, very quickly, I will show you some examples. Very few examples here, and more than that, I'll talk about some tools which can be used for achieving this status. So let us look at some tools. First is, this is an example of a corrective and a preventive action which is being planned. On the left side, you see the caretaker, and after that, the action. And what is important is, for each of these measures, there is an impact assessed to find out what would be the impact on the final end result, and as to what would be the timeline when it will be done, and also a color coding. Color coding is something I love. It's important to have a color coding. I always say that blue, red, yellow, and green. Blue is something which is in coma stage. Red is something which is critical. Yellow is something which is almost there but not fully done. Green is something which is okay. So this color coding is something which is extremely important. Then after that, look at as to how the forecast is. Based on the actions which you have done, you are planning here. Depending on when the action gets implemented, there would be a drop down in your end result. And this is the predictability which I'm talking about. This green line is the predictability of this particular action sheet. Against that, if we are measuring our success and trying to compare and find out why it worked and why it didn't work, then we have a possibility of ensuring some amount of learning in the whole process, and the improvement is more consistent. So that's one example. Then we got another example of looking at the development of this is a development of the robustness of the production during the development phase. When the product was conceptualized, all the processes are not very capable, and after that, as we move along, number of processes increased, and also the capability is good. Green means it is good capability. Then in this case, it's a drilling down of Pareto, which you see level 1, level 2, so that you know where the problem is, where you need to tackle. That is extremely important. Then another way of looking at Pareto, where again it's important, like I was talking yesterday, always and always and always against a time scale. Look at it over a time scale, development over time, and then see how it's progressing in terms of various categories. So that this graph not only gives you the development over time, but also gives you a Pareto, where you can find out which characteristic is which contributor is more. Similar to that, another graph here, dominated to be optimized to develop. These are the processes already dominated. Dominated means where we are under control. That means it is stable. So stability is something which is extremely important in organizations. And after that, I've got some tools and methods. One is to visualize, which is important for any improvement. Ask the question why 5 times. Then the good, bad, and good and bad comparison, and the significance of the particular result which you're getting in comparison to the others. Then stratification as another tool. Then you got brainstorming, a classic one, which can also work. Then after that, creating a Ishikawa diagram or a cause and effect diagram. Then using the Kepner and Trego, where you ask the question is and is not, on must and want. This is for decision making using Kepner and Trego, another methodology. Data collection, correlation, sequence chart, then Pareto analysis, which I spoke to you earlier, and then histogram. Then after that, you got tally, which can be done for any attribute measurement, attribute characteristic. Then control chart is extremely important. SPC is something which I implemented sometime in 1990, way back. I've been doing that since then. Then after that, capability studies, which is also equally important to ensure that whatever you're doing is stable and capable for meeting your standards and requirements. Then again, measurement errors. This is a very interesting topic. Depending on what you are measuring, the measurement error itself could be causing a variation. That's something which we need to understand. These again little high-end statistics, which may not be that important for the common man. But again, it's important to understand this phenomenon. Then using a conflict curve, the theory of constraint, which I spoke to you on the first day, to really solve the problem, or create a reality tree to understand what the cause and effect is, and establish a common understanding. Then after that, prepare an action plan. Then you talk about decision making, find out what are the various agencies involved in decision making for finding a solution. These are all the various tools, and I won't be able to divulge any example here because they're a little sensitive. So if anything is required, you please write to me at dinakar.com, dinakarmurthy.com, and then you can check out my blogs. You can go here, and then you can always write there, and I'll just show you this link, dinakarmurthy.com and blogs, and then you can write to me. Then after that, I will get in touch with you and then explain to you in person. So I won't be able to share it here. And so with this, these are the various tools. Otherwise, a quality matrix which can be used. Again, another methodology. FMEA can be used. Failure mode effect analysis. Instructions can be given. Pokayoki can be done. Foolproofing, or closed loop control. Another very classic way of doing and ensuring that the defects are less. Then after that comes the Deming cycle, which can also be used. And after that, you come to the next one, which is the I think that's our last one, Deming cycle. So these are the various tools I had in mind to show you. And now at this stage, I get back and then talk about going back to the presentation. In the meantime, I need to thank Madhusudan Reddy for speaking about MICO days. So I'll just say that, yeah, it is definitely, MICO is, I think, what not very common. Madhusudan Reddy, thanks a lot for your comment. I am basically MICO, and my value system is the same. So it's the same thing which is going on for the last so many years. Thanks a lot for your comment. And then I've got my colleague Vivek Palsule also on the line. I think he's yeah, there he is. You can if you want to comment anything, Vivek, please go ahead, and then I will. Then we can after that close our discussion. Yeah, please go ahead, Vivek. Anything you want to?
What I find best about it is the chakras. is that they are very systematic way of moving from one particular thing to another things. And this improvement chakra is a very, very innovative and a nice methodology. And again, it is connected to our own Indian ethos systems and the mythology, which is what I like about it.
Yeah, and in terms of any experience you want to share, Vivek, which where we could do some improvement or something like that.
No, it's going on very well. And basically, what we like is the focused 15 minutes within which we can get so much of jnana, is what I really liked about it. And
Okay.
inputs. And this is not just a jnana which is at a higher level, it comes from experience, is what I like.
Okay, so thanks a lot. So that was my colleague Vivek. If anybody wants to participate, please let me know. Write to me, and then you're most welcome to come here and then share your thoughts. So thanks a lot for watching. For those of you in India, have a nice evening. For those of you outside India, have a great day ahead, and see you tomorrow, more or less the same time. And tomorrow, by the way, my topic would be progress. No, my topic would be growth chakra, which is about learning. Because after the improvement is done, the next phase is to learn, and then finally, day after tomorrow, I'm going to once more conclude on the chakras, and after that, we'll start a different topic on Monday along with my colleagues. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a nice evening. Have a nice day for those of you outside India, and goodbye. And thanks a lot, Vivek. Thank you so much for participating, and Madhu also. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Bye bye.